God of all possibilities. The greatest privilege that God has ever given to man was to put man on the earth. Angels don't have this privilege, but man has the privilege. But because of ignorance, man is not willing to stay where God has put him. So you see people out of depression and frustration, they are willing to commit suicide, that they want to go and meet God in eternity. And they fail to understand that God put them on the earth for a particular purpose. And you should know that so long as you are on the earth, you have an advantage. Because the greatest privilege God has ever given to you was to create you and put you on the earth and not in heaven. The earth is a realm of possibilities. The first ever miracle that God created or God made, it was on the earth. In Genesis chapter number 1, the Bible says the Lord created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and God said, let there be light. And the Bible says there was light, and God saw that it was good. So when God restructured the earth from being a shapeless and an ugly earth into being a good and beautiful creature, it is a sign that whatever comes under the influence of the earth must undergo change. Because the first thing God came to do on the earth was to bring the earth and subject it under the power of change. So long as you are under the influence of the earth, you are under the power of change. When a man comes under the influence of the earth, he has come to a place of many possibilities. That is why a sinner today on the earth can become a saint tomorrow, but a sinner in eternity can never become a saint tomorrow. So all the angels that joined Lucifer in rebelling against God, there is no hope for salvation for them. Why? Because whatever is eternal abides forever, but whatever operates under the earth is temporal. It does not abide forever. It can undergo metamorphosis and change. What does it mean for something to be temporal? It means it can undergo change. It therefore means that everything that have been created by God on the earth, so long as it is visible to the human eye, is temporal. And if it is temporal, it means that it can change. If your house can undergo change based on time and the influence of the earth, it therefore means that even your poverty can undergo change. Even your sickness can undergo change. Your situation can undergo change. That is why the Bible says, tears floweth in the night, but joy cometh in the morning. Why? So long as you are under the influence of time, the night is a season, the morning is a season, and these are the seasons that governs the affairs of the earth. So long as you are under the earthly government, your tears is permitted to flow in the night, but there is a change system that have been orchestrated and created by God. The eternal reign is a range of permanent conditions. For example, if a man is holy in eternity, he remains holy forever. So for a man to become a reality of that which God had programmed him to become on the earth, irrespective of what he's going through today, he must ensure that he is a lover of God. There is no hope in this generation for a man who has not known God. So a point comes in the life of a man by reason of who he had become over time. He might experience some possibilities in the absence of God, but those possibilities he's experiencing, it will never guide him to the place of the fulfillment of his destiny, because a man will only come to the place of realizing predestination when he has truly encountered God. So he said, with man, this is impossible. It therefore means there are other things that are possible with man, but man will come to a limitation so long as God is subtracted from his life. So the message of possibilities on the earth realm is not good news for a man who has not known God. It might sound motivating, but its reality will never dawn on you so long as you have not captured God in your heart. Because it only takes the knowledge and true encounter with God for a man to come to the place of experiencing change in his condition and in his environment. Because only God has the ability to bring about favorable change in the life of a man. The change that will be favorable to you and not detrimental to your destiny is the one that can only be guaranteed by your relationship with God. And in as much as you are committed, dedicated, and connected to God, you are already advantageous in the place of the fulfillment of destiny, because every evil happening in your environment, it can be turned around for your favor. A heartbeat is too much an interval for God to turn your life around. Why are you afraid? Anytime Satan wants to hinder you from the possibilities of God, he puts fear in your heart concerning the occurrences of your life. So he makes you become traumatized by what you go through, so that you will not engage faith to harvest from the dimensions of Elohim. And the greatest enemy to the possibilities in the life of men is fear. Fear not. Why are you afraid? Papa, age is adding, change is not coming. He said, fear not. I don't need calendar to change your life. Fear not. So when you are afraid of what your life will become, fear enters your heart. And when that fear comes, it creates an abode. It creates a custody, and that custody is called the place of contentment. When men become born of God, they become thermostats. Those who are still babes in God, and even those in the world, they are thermometers. When you take thermometer, you put it under your armpit. It is a liquid in bulb thermometer. It is controlled by the heat that comes from your body. And what is heat? Trouble, problems, chaos. So when you bring thermometer inside trouble, the trouble will reshape and determine the outcome of the thermometer. But thermostat regulates heat. Behind your fridge, you have a thermostat. When you go behind your fridge, put your hand behind, you will feel heat inside. So the thermostat receives heat, but what it gives to the fridge is coldness, ice. The thermostat is saying that no matter the hardship and the tribulations that comes my way, I will produce a good attitude.